coffee beans! How's it brewing? Before I start this video, I want to show you guys again my amazing pieces that I made last week from the Good Vibes box, the Good Vibes Elves box. Last week, for whatever reason, that video quality just wouldn't get up to my standard. It was pretty low. So I'm showing you the footage again in HD, 4K, whatever you're able to watch, so you can see the sparkly goodness of these holographic pieces and the incense holders. They are gorgeous. And if you haven't seen that entire video, then make sure you go check it out. For today's video, I am going to finally make some bezel charms. Now, I have never made bezels before. I've received a lot of bezels from Sophie and Toffee over the last year and a half, and my confession is I've never made a single one. I don't know why, I just never got around to it. It's not that I'm scared to try it, I just have never tried it. So today is the day that I'm finally going to make some bezels. And these 6 bezels came from the Sophie and Toffee June Good Vibes box, which is the footage that I showed you earlier with the Hamsa, the incense holders, and the Lotus Flower. That is where these bezels came from. So if you want to see the unboxing of that, go check it out. But today, we're going to be making these bezels finally. I wanted to work with these bezels, but keep it kind of simple for myself. So I'm not going to color any resin. I'm actually going to use pre-colored UV resin, which is all from Sophie and Toffee, and I have a huge collection. I have a gigantic collection of these colored UV resins. I will leave a link in the description below of all of the different kinds that I have, so you can get your own. And with that in mind, I do have some discount links below, so you can get some discounts in the Sophie and Toffee store or off of your first Elves box. There is a link below for $3 off your first Elves box and a link below for 10% off the entire Sophie and Toffee store. So if you want to get the UV resin that I use, or if you want to get your hands on the June or July Elves box, then make sure you check those links below. To get started, I'm going to place all of these bezels onto painter's tape. I just took a really big piece of painter's tape and pressed each bezel on really, really firmly, making sure it was the back of the bezel that is touching the tape. I'm going to start with the Lotus Flower first, and I'm going to use a few different colors of the UV resin. The types of UV resin I'm using for the Lotus Flower are the Color Jewelry LED resin and the Crystal LED UV resin. Because the spaces are so small, I found it was easier to place my color inside a little container and then dip a toothpick in the color and place that inside the bezel. So I started with yellow, and then I used magenta and swirled the two colors together. Then I used 2 different colors of green, kind of an aqua green and a brighter green, for the details and the leaves below. And I cured that under my UV light. I peeled the tape off, but it was still a little bit uncured on the other side, so I simply flipped it over and cured it under the light again. I love how this piece came out. There are some bubbles in the resin, but it actually makes it look like stained glass, so I'm really, really happy with how this turned out. I think this could make a beautiful necklace or even a bracelet on a leather cord. I think that would be gorgeous. Or if you added some dangly charms, this would be a really pretty sun catcher in your car. The next piece I worked on is the one that looks like a Triforce, or it looks like a Triforce to me. My husband looked at it and said it looked like a D20, or a 20-sided die, which I have actually heard from other people too, but my mind immediately went to Triforce. For the Triforce, I used some more of the Color Jewelry LED resin, as well as the Crystal Art Gel UV resin. Now, the Triforce I'm referencing is from The Legend of Zelda, which I am a huge Zelda fan, and typically it is the symbol for power, knowledge, and courage, and power is at the top, is red, and blue is in the bottom left, and that's for knowledge, and then green is in the bottom right, and that is for courage. And usually when you play the games, the Triforce is gold, so I added yellow in the middle, and then I made the sides white. And then I cured that under my UV light. Just like with the Lotus Flower, when I peeled the tape off, it was still a little uncured, so I flipped it over and cured it one more time. I love how this came out. I think I'm going to turn this into a bracelet with some leather cord. I was kind of unsure what to do with all of the little ring details around the outside. I feel like it's supposed to hang from the biggest loop, and then maybe you put charms on all those other loops. I'm not entirely sure. So I'm not really positive what I'm gonna do with this, but I do think it would make a really cool bracelet. Next, I worked on this bezel, which kind of looks like a female figure with her arms in the air and her feet together, and it kind of has a swirl around where her tummy would be. And after some searching, I found out that this is actually a symbol for a fertility goddess. So I thought it would be really neat to make it reminiscent of Mother Earth. So using some royal blue and apple green UV resin, I colored in the top and the bottom blue and green for grass and the sky. And I cured that under my UV light. Just like the others, I peeled the tape off and then cured the other side. I think this would make a really pretty necklace pendant on just a really simple chain. I think it would be really, really pretty as a maternity present or a baby shower present for the mom that's expecting a child, or even those who are having trouble conceiving. I think this would be a beautiful gift for someone. For my next bezel, I am going to do the female figure that seems to be in a meditation pose, and she has a bunch of circles going down her center, and what that actually is the 7 chakras. I believe you would focus on your chakras for yoga or for Reiki, but I'm not completely sure. So if you know a little bit more about chakras, I would love to know, so you can tell me in the comments below. Now you'll see I have a whole slew of colors in my arsenal for this one because we need the whole rainbow. So I'm using all the colors of the rainbow, and I'm using the Color Jewelry LED resin, I'm using the crystal art gel, and I'm using pre-colored UV resin in the little black bottle. So starting from the bottom, I filled up each chakra with red, orange, yellow, green, blue, a darker blue kind of mixed with purple, and then the last one is purple by your mind. I just recently started yoga about 2 or 3 months ago, and it has helped so much with my mental well-being and my back, because I actually have quite a bit of pain in my back just from slouching and having poor posture. And yoga has helped a lot with that. So I am slowly learning about chakras myself. Then I mixed up the UV resin with some black glitter, and I made that the rest of the body so that ideally the colors of the chakra will really stand out. Then I cured that in my UV light. Just like the others, I peeled off the tape, flipped it over, and cured it under my UV light again. I'm so happy with how this charm came out. It was really, really intricate to get all those little chakras and the inside of the body, but I'm really happy with how this turned out. The chakras are bright and colorful, and I'm noticing now that it's cured that the black glitter I used is kind of holographic. It has just a little bit of a rainbow sparkle to it, so it goes really well with the chakra colors. I think this would be a really cute charm on your keys, like a key ring, especially if, like me, you go to a gym. I think I might put this on my gym key ring. The next piece I'm going to work on is very intricate. It's so intricate. It has so many small parts, and that is the Tree of Life. Now, I thought it would be really neat to kind of do the 4 seasons with this one. So again, I have a whole bunch of colors. I am using the Color Jewelry LED resin, I'm using the Crystal Art Gel UV resin, and I'm using the pre-colored UV resins. First, I applied some blue UV resin for the sky, so I did that all around the leaves. Then I added some gray at the bottom for rocks or the earth. And then for the seasons, I did green for summer up at the top left-hand corner. I did yellow for fall at the top right, white for winter on the bottom right, and a pinkish purple on the bottom left for spring. Then I cured that under my UV light. Just like the others, I took the tape off, flipped it over, and cured it on the other side as well. I am so happy with how this one turned out. I was really worried that with how intricate it was, I was going to end up getting resin all over the place and you wouldn't be able to see any of the details, but it turned out so gorgeous. Especially the root system down by the gray earth. I love how the silver of the roots shows through the gray of the resin. It looks so mystical. It kind of reminds me of the tree in Norse mythology. I'm gonna butcher this. I am so sorry, but it's Yggdrasil. Google can tell me how to say it.
Yggdrasil.
Thank you, Google. That's kind of what this reminds me of, but I'm just so happy with this. I think this would be another really pretty necklace pendant or a sun catcher in my car. I think this will be gorgeous. Finally, last but not least, is the Hamsa, and you can tell right away that it is super intricate and there's a lot of little tiny spaces, and I just did not know what to fill these spaces with to do the Hamsa justice. So I decided to use some of my glow-in-the-dark UV gel that came in the October Elves box. Actually, it was the September Elves box of last year. That was the Halloween box, the creepy cute box. Because I thought, since this is supposed to be the eye of God or the hand of God, it would be really neat if it glowed in the dark? Glue in the dark? Glowed in the dark. What's the past tense of glow? Glowed. I don't know why, but that sounds weird. Definitely not glue in the dark. It did not glue in the dark. So to get started, I added some white UV resin to the whites of the eye, and then I did a blue eye in the middle. And the only reason I did a blue eye is because I thought it would stand out against the white and the pink glow-in-the-dark UV gel. Then before moving on, I cured the white and blue eye under my UV light because I knew I needed these to be cured before I moved on. Now, I tried to add the gel with a toothpick, but this gel is super thick because it's meant to be for nail art. So I think it's meant to be like with acrylic nails, so it's really, really, really thick and hard to work with. So I quickly scrapped that idea and then I tried something different and it actually worked really well. What I did is I squeezed a whole bunch of this glow-in-the-dark gel onto my painter's tape and I kind of smoothed it out a little bit. Then I took my Hamsa with the bottom side down and I pressed it into the gel, and you can see it kind of pressed through the designs and filled in all the designs for me nice and easy. Then I cured it under my UV light for just a couple seconds until it was just a little bit more firm, and I was slowly able to scrape away all of the excess gel from around the outside. Then, once it was all clear of the excess gel, I let this cure under my UV light for a long time. This UV gel takes a long time to cure, so I actually had this sitting in my window for a few days to make sure it was completely hard and not sticky anymore. I love this Hamsa so much. It's so simple, but so pretty. The only thing that stinks with this UV gel, the glow-in-the-dark UV gel, that I forgot is it glows best once it's been under a UV light or in direct sunlight. Regular indoor lighting doesn't quite do it justice, but once it's been in direct sunlight or UV light, it glows this absolutely stunning purple color, like a lilac kind of lavender color. Oh, it's gorgeous. I'm so happy with this. Plus, by pressing it into the gel instead of applying it with the toothpick, allowed me to preserve all of those really intricate details in the bezel. And with that, I am all done with my first ever set of bezel charms. I don't know why I waited so long to do them. They were really relaxing. It was kind of like color by numbers. I don't know, it was really relaxing to do. I would love to know in the comments which of these is your favorite. And if you've made any of these bezels from the June Elves box, or any bezels at all, I would love to see. So you can tag me on Instagram @BunnyDIY because I really want to see what you've worked on. And if you like this video and you want to see more, then make sure you subscribe. You can click the little bell to get notified of when I post. I upload videos every Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Love you a latte.